Hey Brian, what's the emphasis in terms of Baker and maybe mechanics and things that he's got to kind of work through right now?
I think mechanically there isn't a whole lot. I mean, you always want to work on your feet. You always want to work on your timing. I think it's just details right now. I think we just need to hash some things out and make sure we're in rhythm. And it's really what it comes down to. I mean, you want a buzzword, that's probably it. And we're not all the way there. So we need to get in rhythm, get on the same time, and we'll get rolling.
Most of the time last year, it looked like his ball was ended up right where it was supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
This time, a lot of times, it doesn't look like it's where it's supposed to be. Why?
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a part of it. I think you got some new guys in the mix. I think he's just trying to get on the same page. We got some new things we're trying to do too. I think we've asked him to do some different stuff than we did last year. So I think we just got to kind of find a groove of what feels good with everybody in the equation.
Is it close, or I don't know if there's such a word as close, but
Yeah, it's like horseshoes, right?
yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, it's I should say it's not like horseshoes. It's either there or it ain't. But you know what? I think it's getting there. I mean, at the end of the day, you look at where he was week one and some of the stuff, and that was kind of what we've done this week. Is you got to evaluate everything. It's kind of a good time to have a break. Obviously, you'd rather go into a bye week with a win, but I think for us to be able to evaluate, looking at in the last couple of days where he was week one to compare to where he is now, and there's improvement. There's vast improvement. It's just obviously it's not where we want it to be.
Is he seeing the whole field the way you want him to see the whole field?
Yeah, no, he's a sharp kid. I think it's just he's going to continue to get reps. The thing, and now we're 6 games in. I mean, he's close to 19 games into his pro career still. I mean, I think he's still that second year guy is still coming out of him. But at the same time, the one thing I harp on him, we aren't making a lot of bad choices. We're just making some mistakes. And then the difference I always take there is when you make mistakes twice, then you're making bad choices. So I think he's seeing things, for the first time, and people are obviously throwing different looks at him than he's seen. But I think we're learning as we go. And like I said, I feel like we're in a heck of a lot better place now than we were a few weeks ago.
A lot of talk about the difference in numbers in the red zone last year.
Sure.
Do you think he's throwing the ball too hard? He seems hyped up.
I think the red zone's a place where you got to spin it in there. So it's tough. I mean, if you tell a guy to back off, then you're late on some throws. And actually, I even think that's kind of where we've run into. We just get some bad bounces down there. We get some stuff that went our way last year, and I think this year we just need to connect and avoid those mistakes where you put it in luck's hands, so to speak. You get balls popping out of guys' hands, and I don't think that's on anybody. It's just unfortunate the circumstance.
So when you talk about his accuracy, and you say it's more of a rhythm timing thing,
Yeah.
does that mean you feel like he's throwing the ball where he wants to? It's just either the receiver's not quite there. You know what I mean? Like if you asked him to just line up and throw the ball, you think he's thrown it as well as he did last
Sure, no, and that's where I think he's an accurate guy. He throws the ball accurately. It's just the fact I think sometimes it's with his feet as well. I mean, I think he speeds himself up. At times I think he thinks maybe too quickly. His feet follow up, and you're trying to catch up. And it's a variety of different things. I don't think that's where I kind of say we've all been taking our turn, whether it's his feet, whether it's his mind at times, but we all just kind of need to iron it down and get on the same page.
As his quarterback coach, do you find yourself in the role of psychologist at all with him? Does he need, the mind game?
I think the quarterback's a position where obviously it's extremely mental, and you got to have that confidence going into every week, and I don't think Baker lacks there. I think Baker's in a good place, and we try to put him in a good place every week to go out there and feel good about what we're doing.
Has there been a concerted effort to get him to be calm in the pocket? Because last year it seemed like one of his strengths, and this year it doesn't seem as comfortable as consistently.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's always something, especially as a young quarterback and guys that come out of the system that he came out of, that you want to work on pocket presence. And I think it's been something that he's done well with. There's at times I think that when he gets out of there, it's just him trying to make plays, and I don't think it comes from a place of he's getting out of there too quick. I just think he wants to make things happen, and sometimes we just need to take what's there.
Statistically, numbers specifically, again, he's 4 of 17 inside the 10.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys throw too often? I mean, when you look at other quarterbacks inside the 10, he has thrown more than just about everybody else in the league. So
you know what? We haven't spent a ton of time looking at everybody else, but I think this is the week where we'll evaluate that. And I think it's, like I said, I think the bye week came at a good time, not with where we wanted to be at 2-4, but there's things that we'll evaluate and look at from that standpoint.
Statistically, it looks like he's regressed, though, How do you just feel about that in the big picture?
Yeah, you know what? It's tough because you obviously got to look at it. It is a game of numbers. It's a results-driven business. But when we look at what he grades out at, what he's doing, what we're asking him to do, and that's where I say we've shown improvement every week, and we'll build on that.
At one point, I think it was maybe in OTAs, you mentioned that you were thinking about going out and spending a little bit of time with Lincoln Riley and just kind of talking to him about the offense and Baker. Did you ever get a chance to do that?
We didn't get to go out. I think it's actually might even be some violation of some sorts to go all the way out there. But I got to speak with him a little bit, and it kind of helps evaluating guys that have come out of there too. You kind of see what goes on, and I think we've tried to bring some of that into the mix with what Baker's doing.
I mean, like over this bye week, would you check in with Lincoln to say, hey, look at some of Baker's tape and see if there's something that you're seeing?
I think he's as busy as we are. So I think from a standpoint, I'll go back to your question with the red zone statistics. I think it's just something, everything's under evaluation. We need to kind of reflect and look at what we've been doing, what works and what doesn't work. And I mean, Freddie states it well. We all need to look in the mirror, and I think that's top to bottom. So if we do that, I think we'll come out of this break better than we were.
How many of the interceptions do you put on the quarterback decision?
Well, all of them. He gets all of them. We don't put him on anybody else. So he's got all 11 right now. So we'll take all of those. I think there's an aspect that we like to put in there. We just got to do our job, and I think there's things that you can always be better at in every one of those plays that he's had this year.
For example, the one for Landry on Sunday and also the Hilliard for those, could they have been better for those?
You know what? Yeah, I think with that one, especially to Jarvis, I think you can put it a little bit more out in front of him. But you know what? It's kind of where I say too in the red zone. It's some of it's just bad bounces, man. And it's football's a game of breaks, and you see it all over the league where it's a game of inches and a game of breaks. If they don't bounce your way, sometimes it can end up pretty rough.
I know you talk about Baker's confidence, and we see that. But does he take the 2-4 record kind of on himself, and does he blame it? I don't know, blame's the right word, but does he take a lot of responsibility for the fact that the team's 2-4 because he's a quarterback?
Sure. I mean, you're at the quarterback position, you need that. I think he's a prideful person, and he takes pride in this team first and foremost. So I think he's going to take that to heart. I think he's a guy that, and the good thing is, I think we have a lot of guys in the offense that take that to heart, not only with the record, but how we're playing. So you look, and you got guys like Nick Chubb. I think in every room, you got a guy that's a leader that's going to take his room and say, we got to all play better. And if we all do that and hold each other accountable, we'll be in a good place.
Everyone knows there's so much riding on the way he plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's what this town's been waiting for 20 years.
Sure.
How much pressure does Dorsey still attend the quarterback meetings? Do you feel the pressure as a staff to get him, Baker, turned around?
Well, I think 100% at the end of the day, you got to do what makes that guy comfortable, and I think that, like you said, a lot of things, start there, and we just got to make sure in as good a position that he feels well doing it.
What is the mindset or the philosophy behind, like you said, all those 11 interceptions are on him, even though, Todd Monken, mentioned that the drop was catastrophic by Antonio and the Dontrell Hilliard. I know it would have been a nice catch, but I mean, what is the mindset between putting all the 11 of those on the quarterback?
Well, I just think in our room, you got to think that everybody has to be held accountable for what they're doing, and if we didn't do our job to the best of our ability, and I look at it myself. You talked about as coaches, we have to do that too. You got to look at the mirror, and I got to look at if I told them to do something that led to one of those interceptions, then it's on me as well. So, like I said, in that room, we're going to do everything we can on each play to be at our best, and really, the other guys obviously need to be where they are when they are, but we need to do what we can do, and we need to do it better than we've been doing it.
TJ Carey suggested yesterday that maybe you could look at the end of last season. Would you do that with tape of Baker from what was working, kind of?
Sure, I think that's a part of the evaluation process. I think we did that a little bit last year. I think we look at what we got right now and where we've been applying those, and also I think that's a part of the thing that he's going to see different looks. I mean, people have looked at his tape last year too, and I think we're seeing how people play him differently. So we'll look at that and we'll evaluate it through the rest of this week.
What's the number? He made some plays with his legs for the first time kind of this year. Is there that risk reward though? Because then he comes out of it with a banged up.
Yeah, no, but say he nicked up a little bit, but I think there is, and then we've discussed that I think on third downs there's times you call your own number, you extend plays, and obviously we talked about his scrambles and everything he does. He's good at that. So if it comes down to that, I think he's got a good feel for all those things.
What's the biggest thing the defenses are doing that they didn't do last year?
You know what? They're mixing up coverages. I think it's something you see with everybody when guys go from their first to the second year. It's just everybody builds a book, so to speak, on different guys scouting report wise. So we'll continue to kind of see how he can react and adapt to those things, and we'll also change what we do.
How confident are you that he's still the elite franchise quarterback that everybody believes that he is?
Oh, extremely. I mean, I think on a day-to-day basis, you still see the things he does out on the field and the way he carries himself. And the best part is, like I talked about, he's still young and he's still growing. So, but you see that what that kid's going to become and what he is, and that's something special.
So we go forward
Last
this
one here.
season, his completion percentage is down, his interception. What one thing do you think really needs to change?
I just think the biggest thing the theme can be just take what they give you. You know, I think sometimes we just, you don't want to force things. You just want to take what the defense gives to you. And I think especially with where we're sitting right now, the way Nick Chubb's playing, we can do that. I mean, he's running the ball well. We're playing well up front, blocking in the run game. So let's just extend drives and keep things rolling.